Okay, I've been at Post 65 since January of 2015. I am Sergeant at Arms now. And before that, I just was a regular member. Navy at 19 September 25th, 1963. I was separated from active duty on February 16th, 1968. I was a radioman in the days when we used Morse code. I achieved the rank of E4 officially. I passed the test for E5, but I didn't have enough time left in service to take it. I was stationed at, I went to Great Lakes Naval Training Center for basic, then to Radio and A School in Bainbridge, Maryland. Then they shipped me over to Naval Communications Station in Londonderry, Northern Ireland. And I was there for 2.5 years. I got married over there. I was married about 8 months. And I got orders to the USS Ozark, Mine Countermeasure Support Ship 2, home ported in Charleston. And it was from the Ozark that I was separated. And then I spent 1.5 years in the inactive Naval Reserve. Experience in the military was great. I got to go places and see things I would never see in my life again. When I was aboard the Ozark, we made a North Atlantic goodwill tour. We stopped at Portsmouth, England, Zeebrugge, Belgium, Cuxhaven, Germany, Copenhagen, Denmark, and that was really funny because the harbor master tied us up right in front of a Russian freighter that was flying the hammer and sickle. It was hilarious. Okay, I'm second oldest out of 9 surviving children. My father was a professional baker, and I won't say we were born on the wrong side of the tracks, but we weren't born with silver spoons in our mouth. We had to share wooden spoons. Okay. I never for a minute regret joining the Navy. I met my wife in Northern Ireland. Her name was Rose. She's passed on. I have a son and a daughter, and my daughter has a son who's a lieutenant in the Air Force.
Awesome.
I'm very proud of him, and my son's 3 children. I'm very proud of them.
Yes.
In fact, his oldest daughter is a freshman at Campbell College up near Raleigh, which is funny. But I have one brother that was in the Navy. He was in submarines. A brother that was in the Air Force. He was an AP. My youngest brother tried to enlist but got rejected on medical grounds. And my oldest brother was in college when I joined, so he probably got it deferment. But I think my mother probably had a certain little bit of dislike for me because I started something with the military. Yeah. We have a small group that's always there, and the thing of it is the camaraderie that you feel when you walk into that place. There's just something about it that it says welcome, whether you're a veteran or not, and everybody's treated the same. There's no rank. You know, we're not supposed to talk politics.
Right.
But you get a bunch of guys together and they're going to talk politics.
Yes.
But for the most part, it's a very warm and welcoming place. It's 165 North Main Street in Mooresville. And if you haven't been there, get on down there, because we'd love to have you. The main thing I think I want people to know about veterans is we're not warmongers.
Amen.
Nobody, and I don't care what country's uniform they wear, nobody fears or hates war more than the military personnel, because when the powers that be decide they're going to fight with each other, we're the ones that have to go do it. And we're the ones that lose an arm or a leg or an eye or get our heads messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want the public to look at the veteran. I remember when I worked for the Navy as a civilian for 26 and a half years. And I had a college kid. I got in an argument with him. He goes, "Oh, you veterans, you think you're something special. Why should you get an extra 5 or 10 points, blah, blah, blah." I looked at him and I says, because we are special. We're among the 1%.
Yes.
I said, we stood up, we wrote a blank check to this country, payable with our lives. Many of us were fortunate enough we didn't have to pay that check.
Yes.
Many had to pay that check. So in honor of them, when you see a veteran, thank him. We don't think of ourselves as heroes. We just did it because it was the right thing for us to do. My favorite thing about 65, believe it or not, being an ex-Navy man, is that they don't allow drinking or smoking. I have a slight case of emphysema myself, and because of my wife and her feelings about drink, I gave up drinking before I married her, and I don't miss it.
Yeah.
And I mean, if somebody else wants a beer, yeah, fine, go ahead, have one. Don't get plastered, though.
Yeah.
And the camaraderie, I've made a lot of friends here, including Big Mike. The funny thing is everybody calls me Popeye.
Uh-huh.
Because when I first started to do funerals, and that's how I got with 65. I was doing funerals with VFW 2031, but all I had was my military uniform.
Mm-hmm.
And then Charles asked me to join the post, and until I got an American Legion uniform, I wore my Navy uniform to the funerals. So everybody started calling me Popeye. Which is really, I mean, it's a way to get things going. And I remember Mike giving me a can of spinach with an award that said Popeye Spinach. We have a good time here. It's a great place.
We do.
And they do a lot.